What's up? Here I have a post from Tracy O'Mahony, and she does absolutely wonderful work. She also has a YouTube channel here on YouTube that discusses what's going on in Ireland and also the legalities of it. I do recommend that you follow her channel and subscribe to the channel. It's an excellent channel. I do hope it's coming to a point in time now where we are going to have legal legals, as I like to call them, starting to band together, and an attempt at some stage of the game has to be made to challenge this government legally about what they're doing. They aren't worried about what the people here think whatsoever. They are just doing what they want. This is absolutely unbelievable. Now, we've said it beforehand, this is a regime, and it's not only a regime, but it's a regime that's completely out of control. It has gone full mask off. They are not worried anymore about what you think about them. And you see, that's why when I see articles that are talking about people protesting outside the politicians' homes, I don't bat an eyelid at that, because I'm like, well, these people are bringing it on themselves, are they not? Like, you have people here, as you can see, well, not here, in this chamber, supposed to be debating about our country, about our sovereignty, and loads of them haven't showed up. What sort of public representative is that? What sort of representative of Ireland is that? And Tracy very astutely puts it here in this post, but what we have in this country right now is an oligarchy. We have people that have no concern for you or me. None. Because all they have concern for is their own pockets. They don't think that they're going to be living here in Ireland forevermore. They think they're going to retire off to some far off place there where it's warm, or very heavily guarded. Because these people have no concern for this country or future generations or the issues that they are lying at your door. And these people have no qualms with that whatsoever. It's a disgrace. How is it that we have gone from 800 plus years of fighting British oppression to rolling over within 100 years and handing our sovereignty off to some other faceless, nameless foreign entity? Why did these people take part in 1916 to only be met with this? Disgusting it is. And I'm going to show you the names of the people that voted for this, by the way. So as we have this post in front of us, we look at the seats that are empty. Tracy goes on and says, the photo on the right, we'll see now in a moment, is what the Dáil chamber looked like when the TDs were voting on the pact, and in turn selling. Now that's a brilliant word there that she's used, selling, because for a lot of us, we've been thinking for a long time about what's going on. We know that they're filling their pockets, we know it's greed, we know that there's some very stupid people that are running these positions, but in turn, what she's saying here is absolutely correct. They are selling our country out from underneath our feet. The sovereignty of this country to their masters in Brussels. These politicians do not ever care to give the illusion of democracy, and she's nailed it again. These people don't have any sort of issues with showing you how depraved and how authoritarian and how bad they are. There are words that I would love to use here, but this platform prevents me from doing so. But they actually don't care. They think you're nothing. They think of you as nothing. And here's what they did then on the day itself. So as you've seen there, hardly anyone there for the debate, and look at them, all showed up. They did. Absolute disgrace. Nothing but traitors sitting in that Dáil. And what we need to do is we need to get people into positions that aren't going to be like this at all. Now, I know an awful lot of other people that are out there now that are very disillusioned with the system. And listen, I hear you. I understand you when it comes to these things, because when I'm looking at the system and looking at the fact that we're getting people into councillors' positions, that's great. That's wonderful. But what we have right now is a very big problem with politics. We have these guys in these positions that are planning, and believe you me, they are planning on staying here for the long haul. They are not thinking to themselves that they're going to be out anytime soon. They plan for themselves to be here as long as they can and to sell out this country as much as they can. And guess what? If they're caught out, and if it's someone that is after being caught with the pants down, shall we say, they're just going to move her on to the next pawn. And that's all we're going to get here. We're going to get more pawns just being swapped in and swapped out. So that's all that we're going to get. And I just want to put your wire to that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read you out the names of the people, because if you were a person that voted for one of these people, you're actually responsible for what has just happened. And you're responsible for what is going to happen. And you need to take ownership in that also. So here's the people that said yes. Now, we'll get on to the no's as well, but before I jump into the no's, right, I'm just going to tell you this. There's games being played here. We have a pretend opposition. They might as well have all carted in together here now and said, right, we're going to vote all together and we're all going to say yes to this. They might as well have done that. bar maybe one or two, because the no's are only there now to save a little bit of face and hope that you're going to give them a preference in an upcoming election. That's all. That's all they're looking to do. This is a big game. And to them, they think you're stupid. They think that you don't know that the game is rigged. These are carnies, these are. This is what they are. So anyway, the yeses: Colin Brophy, James Brown, Richard Bruton, Colin Burke, Peter Burke, Mary Butler, Thomas Bourne, Jackie Cahill, Simon Harris, Sean Haughey, Martin Hayden, Emer Higgins, Nasser Hordigan, Heather Humphreys, Paul Keogh, John Lahart, Christopher O'Sullivan, Padraig O'Sullivan, Mark O'Cossaig, Eamon O'Queeve, John Paul Phelan, Anne Rabbit, Neil Richmond, Michael Ring, Derek Callery, Kieran Cannon, Jennifer Carroll McNeil, Jack Chambers, Niall Collins, Patrick Costello, Simon Coveney, Barry Cowan, James Lawless, Brian Ledden, Catherine Martin, Micheál Martin, Stephen Matthews, Paul McAuliffe, Charlie McConnellag, Helen McEntee, Eamon Ryan, Brendan Smith, Neve Smith, Ossian Smith, David Stanton, Robert Troy, Leo Varadkar, Michael Creed, Cathal Crowe, Cormac Devlin, Alan Dillon, Stephen Donnelly, Pascal Donoghue, Francis Noel Duffy, Bernard J. Dorkin, Michael McGrath, Joe McHugh, Andreas Moynihan, Michael Moynihan, Jennifer Mornan O'Connor, Hildegard Naughton, Malcolm Noonan, Dara O'Brien, Damien English, Alan Farrell, Frankie Fayan, Joe Flaherty, Charles Flanagan, Sean Fleming, Norma Foley, Brendan Griffin, Joe O'Brien, Jim O'Callaghan, James O'Connor, Willie O'D, Kieran O'Donnell, Patrick O'Donovan, Fergus O'Dowd, and Roderick O'Gorman. So they're the people who voted yes to that. Now we can go through, and that's what I will do. I'll go through with the no's, but I do want you to understand that a lot of people that are here in this no list might as well have voted yes, because these people are all for open borders, they're for refugees welcome, all of this sort of stuff. You just have to look back at the videos over the years, and you see that these same people are the ones that are opposing people, calling people, anyone that's calling someone far right, okay? Anybody that's calling somebody far right is not your friend, and is not a friend of Ireland, and isn't for the Irish people, okay? Just so you are aware of that. So we'll go to the no's here. Chris Andrews, Ivana Basic, Mick Barry, Cathal Berry, Richard Boyd Barrett, John Brady, Martin Brown, Pat Buckley, Michael Healy-Ray, Brendan Howland, Alan Kelly, Jean O'Kenny, Martin Kenny, Claire Curran, Michael Lowry, Padraig McLaughlin, Sean Sherlock, Roisin Shortall, Breed Smith, Brian Stanley, Pater Tobin, Pauline Tully, Mark Ward, Viola Ann Wynne, Holly Cairns, Sean Canny, Matt Carty, Sorka Clark, Michael Collins, Catherine Connolly, Rose Conway Walsh, Rada Cronin, Mark McSherry, Matty McGrath, Michael McNamara, Denise Mitchell, Imelda Munster, Catherine Murphy, Paul Murphy, Verona Murphy, Sean Crow, David Cullinan, Pa Daly, Pierce Doherty, Paul Donnelly, Desi Ellis, Mairead Farrell, Michael Fitzmaurice, Johnny Moyton, Jed Nash, Dennis Norton, Carol Nolan, Keane O'Callaghan, Richard O'Donoghue, Louise O'Reilly, Darren O'Rourke, Peter Fitzpatrick, Kathleen Funkian, Gary Gannon, Thomas Gould, Noel Grealish, Johnny Gork, Marion Harkin, Danny Healy-Ray, Owen O'Brun, Dunca O'Leary, Rory O'Murku, Angus O'Snowdig, Thomas Pringle, Maurice Quinlivan, Patricia Ryan, Matt Shanahan. So as I've said earlier on, even though there's people on the no side, take account of, for example, what's supposed to be the opposition in Sinn Féin being in there. What sort of noise have they made about this? Were they speaking about this in the upcoming election? Were they going to challenge this at any stage of the game legally? Are they going to cause a big hullabaloo about this? The answer is no. And not anybody in that no camp is really going to cause a big uproar about this here. It's forgotten about. Like, this happened in and around June. Okay? So it happened June 26th. Yeah? This video was coming out in July. Apologies for the tardiness when it comes to that there. But I was busy. So what you have here now is just over a week onwards from this. You haven't heard a big uproar about this. This should be dragged, and if we had a real opposition, this should be dragged back into the doll, day in, day out, people doing something about this. You've seen more effort go on from this government and indeed the opposition about trivial things. And don't get me wrong, when you're seeing things that are happening around the country and things that they're bringing into the media to try and distract people, this is what they're trying to distract you from. They are trying to talk around what's happening here in this country. This is a significant step that these people have taken to hand over the keys of our country to a foreign nameless entity that are going to tell us what to do. This is shameful. Democracy doesn't exist in Ireland. It absolutely does not exist in Ireland. What we have is these people that pretend like it does and claim that you're anti-democratic when you question what's going on. Of course, again, if you're someone that's savvy and understands this, that is actually anti-democratic what they're doing, and what you're doing is democratic. This is an absolute and total disgrace that this has been carried and that there has been barely a peep with regards to this. Now, when I say barely a peep, everybody on our side is talking about it, and that's the important thing, to keep the momentum going. And also then to be talking to these people that voted no. You already know with the yeses that these people ain't ever going to represent you properly. But the people on the no side, if you actually do support anybody on the no side, start messaging them and say to them, here, listen, you're going to have to wheel this back into the doll here. This is disgraceful. Because what we have here in this government, and indeed all of these political parties, are people that are claiming to represent you. Do you feel like you were represented when it came to this? Do you feel that the hundreds, maybe even thousands of emails that were sent to these people telling these people, no, we don't want this, is representative of Ireland? I certainly do not think so. There has been serious social media campaigns that have been rolled out with regards to this, saying that this is a bad idea. There has been many a commentary surrounding this being a bad idea and people not wanting this, yet they've pressed ahead with it anyway. The social contract between you and these people are over. It's done. As far as I'm concerned, it was done a couple of years ago when they decided to take your civil liberties, rights and freedoms away over the sniffles. And then what they did was they opened the border. They had a two-tier political system in terms of a justice system, because they don't punish themselves when they get up to anything. But when you were outside your 5k, I was punish you. But bringing it right back to this here, these people need to feel repercussions when it comes to the voting booths. And that is something that I think is going to be intrinsically important for any party that are willing to challenge these individuals and these parties in government that have sat idly by and allowed this to happen. This should have been kicked way up the line through the court system here. This is unbelievable how this even managed to get through. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to quietly sell our country out from underneath us. This is exactly what they're doing. And they get uppity about me or you talking about this. It's disgusting. All these people in the doll disgust me. They really do. And there's not one of them that I would cross the street to shake hands with. I'm disgusted by each and every single one of them. And the fact that what we have right in this country right now is a system that does not look after Irish people, and it has actively shown you yet again that they do not care about you. They are putting anyone else other than the Irish people first. This is what they're about. We don't live in a democracy. We live in a dictatorship here, we do. It's a disgrace. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you share the video. That's very helpful for getting the message out and sharing with people what's going on. And make sure you subscribe to the channel, because the more subscriptions that this channel has, the better that this message gets out, and also then the more people that will hear it. So we do appreciate everybody that subscribes to the channel. Let me know what you think again below. Shout out to Tracy O'Mahony here. This is fantastic work that she's done compiling this. And I'll talk to you later. Look.